Wanted to give you a tour of my garden beds. Here's the inside. These are squashes that are covered with the netting to protect from the squash bugs and the squash vine borers. The flowers are calendula. There's some Swiss chard on the inside here. These are my tomatoes growing up the trellis. Some petunias. This is the Thai chili plant. Some Tom Thumb lettuce. Basil. More squash. Some peppers. Swiss chard. This is a squash plant. I think it's green kashaw. Yep, there's some down here. These get very big and harden so we can keep them over winter. These are blue Hubbard. And that's a trap to trap the squash vine borers because they like to kill the squash plants. More calendula. Some Swiss chard, dill, nasturtiums, purple basil. This is my fig tree that died all the way down to the ground during Snowmageddon. It's come back with a vengeance. This is our newest bed. That has tomatoes, peppers, some squash. There's pumpkin, keeping an eye on things. Some Thai pumpkins and some southern peas. And this is one of the established beds. Those are some beans. What are those? Those are the French beans, haricot tarbé. They're dried shelling beans. Potatoes. More squash. These are uncovered, so I'm going to see how long they last without a cover on them. And over there, there's more squash. Some cucumbers. These are cucumbers too. This is a mystery vine. This came up on its own. I've asked in a gardening group and they agree that this is an ornamental gourd, which I've never grown, so I don't know how it got here. As you can see, the vines are just taking over. If it turns out to not be edible, I'm just going to rip it out. I only want to grow things that are edible. This flower is some sort of native plant. I can't recall what it is. But it's intermingling with some cucumbers. Lots of flowers. These are some Chinese long beans. They get about 2 feet long. These are regular green beans. Some garlic chives. More potatoes. Some lavender that's getting ready to flower. Parsley. Those are yellow wax beans. Some dinosaur kale. Some volunteer tomato plants, so they might be some sort of oddball hybrid that made up itself. And some basil. There's pumpkin again. Growing some lemongrass in a pot. My pansies are still alive because it hasn't been blazing hot. Now the back bed. There's some fall asters. Some amaranth that's self-seeded from last year. This is borage, which apparently tastes like cucumber. Some onions among a rose bush and some pansies. And these are zinnias. What's this? This is dianthus. Rosemary. Strawberries. Sage. Some snapdragons. Different variety of calendula. Oh, and a raspberry bush I planted. Tomatoes. Another pepper. Some marigolds. A grapevine. Petunias. Iris, and a lot of blackberry canes. And the blackberries are actually looking pretty good this year because of all the rain. Last year they all shriveled up because it was so hot for so long with little rain. Let's see, I think that's more borage, pansies, petunias, and the remnants of my poppies. And one little blueberry plant. We're going to try and see if we can make it live. And that's it.